Right, so over the past few weeks in lockdown, fans of Manchester Thunder and those beyond have been voting for their all-time player. It's quite a tricky one, Tasmin Greenway. Thank you for being here. I know you're going to be objective, right? But there's also some of these players that you'll have played with, some that you'll have coached as well, which just, before we get into it, shows to me how strong Manchester Thunder have been over the years.
Yeah, I think when you look at Manchester Thunder teams, they've always been successful. They were always such a pain to play against. They produced some of the best players. You can't knock their age group success in terms of their under 15s, 17s, 19s, their club structure. It's always been incredible, and sort of those northern players were always the players you're aspiring to be like. And yeah, I think when you start looking back now, all those players that have played to try and pick this dream team, it actually becomes quite difficult.
At Thunder Netball is where you've been having your own views on who should be in that starting seven at least. You get a sub and you'll get a coach as well, but we've only got 10 minutes, so we're going to rattle through it. Apologies for that. Let's start then with the goalkeeper. Now, for me, there's a standout, which sounds ridiculous, because there's that dynamic duo that have played for Manchester Thunder for a decade, and surely you can't have one without the other. Kerry Armand and Emma Dovey, not wanting to sway you, but you can't, can you?
I think, look, you look through the keepers and you've got your youngster there back at Airy, who's probably coming through the ranks. And then you've got, you've had some internationals, so Ingria, and of course, Kelly, who came over from Jamaica. So there's some big names in there, but I have to go with Kerry Armand, purely because she is that club player that every single team needs. She has been solid from day one all the way through. She's just a pain in the neck to play against. You know, you have to take her into consideration. Most teams have stars, right? You have your stars and you look at them and you go, oh God, I've got to try and tactically break down those. And then when you have a great team, you have your amazing club players like Kerry in there, and she is also someone you have to be wary of, and that makes that whole tactical element so much harder. She always created problems when we played against her. She was tenacious, fiery, and quite quiet on court, but just got stuck in, got solid, was everything that Thunder was always about, and has led that team at the back. So even though they've had some stars in the past come in and out, I think for me, Kerry is definitely their goalkeeper.
First name on the list then, goalkeeper Kerry Armand, 3 Super League titles. We didn't even get into that, but the fact that she has ridden that whole 10 years. So do you agree with me then? You've got to go goal defence Emma Dovey, right?
Well, yeah, again, yeah, but you look at the list. So, you know, there's Georgie Webster on there, who was one of the youngsters, one of the most exciting youngsters coming through back in the day. Didn't really carry that on, chose to sort of step away from netball a little bit more. There was Sarah Hale, who I actually played my first England age group game. So England under 19s in Cardiff. We were supposed to be going to Malta, I think, but hand, foot and mouth. Was it foot and mouth? Remember the thing that came over? It was not as bad as COVID, but we were stopped from going. Anyway, I digress. I played against Sarah Hale as England under 19s, Wales under 19s, and she had a great career there. And again, always quite feisty. Jodie Gibson, who I absolutely love, is, you know, I don't think we've seen her best yet at England. If she can stay fit for the whole time, she's going to be a right star. But it comes back to that partnership, doesn't it? And you know what I'm like with team culture and partnerships. In terms of who's played the best for Thunder over a long period of time and who partners the best with Kerry Armand is Emma Dovey. Again, probably quite underrated. She had a little stint in England and never really pushed on to that level, but has been in that ranks for so long. And that circle is probably one of the quieter circles, but you just know what you're getting. When you get in there, they're going to have you, you know you're going to be in a battle when you play against that Manchester Thunder circle. I think Emma has improved over the years with age and experience. She leads that team exceptionally well now. So yeah, the dream team of Dovey and Armand would be the first on the team sheet in this dream team.
And you can just see actually the strength of Dovey now that Nguira's come in. Clearly a class player too, but having that combination change in that circle. So they're settled then. Goalkeeper, goal defence was the decade defining 3 titles with Armand and Dovey. Who sits in front of them? You could have had Amy Carter, Jade Clark, Laura Malcolm and Sarah Bayman. I mean, take your pick if you can.
Okay, well, I'm going to go for combos again. So this is going to be the partnership that I work best in the mid-court, and I think Casey agrees. Jade Clark. Jay Clark has been one of the, if not the best wing defence in this country for probably 10 years now. I know Jade sits across in the middle as well, and I know she likes to play both positions, but honestly, to play against her as a wing defence, we've had some battles in the past. She's absolutely quality. She's probably one of the only players in this country that can man-on-man mark in the same league as an Aussie. And that is full credit to her. She again came through that Manchester rank, so she had that grit, that determination. Another sort of quiet character, but so determined. I loved working with her at Wasps as well, and to have lasted not only this long at the club level, but also internationally is incredible. And yeah, she would be in that wing defence position.
All right, Jay Clark goes in there. Didn't win anything with Manchester Thunder or Northern Thunder, 2009 to 2011. But she makes that team. You coached her as well, so you know the quality of her.
She did win when she came to Wasps.
I don't know if that's allowed. I don't know if that's allowed to mention that. Who?
Back to Thunder.
Right, yeah, back to Thunder. Right, into that centre position, Caroline O'Hanlon. What an engine, Gabby Marshall. Jay Clark again. I mean, is she going to get two positions? She's that good, right? And Sarah Bayman. Who do you go for?
So partnerships. I think Gabby Marshall's got loads of talent. She is going to be one for the future. I think her actually moving away from Thunder is probably going to benefit her game. And you see a lot of that with the Thunder players because they've always come through all that age group and they tend to stick there for a long time. Actually, when they get out and get exposed to other styles and other coaches, they come back even better. But I think looking at it, and I know lots of Thunder fans now, because they'll have seen Caroline O'Hanlon play for a couple of seasons, will be like, oh yeah, but it's Sarah Bayman. For years, Jay Clark and Sarah Bayman were the combo that were going to take England forward. And then Serena Guthrie popped up into the ranks, and it was a headache for any England coach going in there going, do you need 3 centre wing defences? And the answer was usually no. But for a long period of time, Sarah Bayman would have been my choice to be the England centre. She was a winner. And I don't say that lightly in terms of how she could change a game. You know, I played with her, I've played against her. She's a pain, but you want her on your team. Her vision into the circle was incredible, and I think she crossed over equally as an attacking and defensive centre, which is very rare. You usually one or the other. And I think the way she worked with Jay Clark, they just complemented each other. And so, yeah, that combination, when they were together, you wanted them on your team. When you were against them, you were going, oh, God, centre pass, here we come.
And you're seeing it again now that she's coaching at Loughborough Lightning. You're seeing those leadership qualities that she clearly had from when she was born and beyond. Yeah. 2 titles, 2009 to 2016, she was with Manchester Thunder. She goes in at centre. On to wing attack then. Your favourite position.
The best.
It's cruelly of me maybe forgetting that Beth Cobden had been involved at Thunder, just because you think of how quickly she's switched things round when she was at Lightning and then beyond. But you got Cobden in there. Chelsea Pittman when she came over to Manchester Thunder, Liana Leota, Nat Haythornthwaite as well. Any of those, right? Any of those.
Well, I think this is where it starts to get tough, and this is probably the hardest position to choose from. So if I go with my heart straight away, I go Nat Haythornthwaite because I love her. But actually her season at Thunder probably wasn't her best. I think it was her growing season. So she'd moved from Leeds. She'd got into the Thunder squad. They were sort of tipped to win it. They had Houseby, they had Bayman, they had Pittman. They had an amazing team. They didn't win it. She was gutted, but I think it was the making of her. So I'm going to take Haythornthwaite out because she was only there for the season.
She's gone.
Beth Cobden, I think people forget because now you see her at wing defence, and I actually think she's a much better wing defence stroke centre. But she was a wing attack at Thunder, and she was pretty good there as well, pretty lethal for them. But I don't think she's got the creativity and flair there as she has at wing defence and centre. So I'm going to take her out.
Agreed.
So that leaves Leota and Pittman. Pittman is your typical Aussie wing attack. She is solid. She does a job for you week in, week out. And at that time when she was at Thunder, she did that for them. However, Liana Leota, one of the best wing attacks in the world, and she has what very few wing attacks have, that creativity, that opening up the game. And I say that because lots of wing attacks get put there because they're short, sharp, nippy, and can do a job. The best ones are the ones that completely change a game, completely control that attack end. Just like a Haythornthwaite, Leota was that player, and wow, she's been good for Thunder. One of the big reasons they won last season, and an incredible player.
She got the Casey Jacks bounce of approval. She also got the doorbell too. Do you need to get that, or can we keep going?
2 seconds.
Okay. So I'll continue this conversation while Casey Jacks bounces in the background. Just to reiterate then, your team so far: goalkeeper, Kerry Armand; goal defence, Emma Dovey; wing defence, Jade Clark; at centre, Sarah Bayman; and we've got Liana Leota at wing attack. You can keep your thoughts coming at Thunder Netball. I've prattled on for nearly long enough for Tamsin to run to the door, answer the door, see what parcel's being delivered, and get back. What has been delivered?
I don't know, but it says Cadbury's on it, so I got very excited. That's
oh, all right then. I actually wanted to open that then. I've just run back through the team, which leaves us then with goal attack and goal shooter. Who are you going for?
Right, well, I'm going to be controversial here because, of course, when you look at the goal attacks, Catherine Turner will be a fan's favourite. She's been there for such a long time, been incredible for them. And then, of course, you've got Golden Girl Helen Housby, who is incredible and is now one of the best goal attacks in the world, if not the best at the moment. However, I'm going to go for partnerships again. And although Helen was great and she scored that winning goal in 2014, I think it's thrust her into the limelight. She wasn't the ready-made player that we see now. So my goal attack is actually Janelle Lawson. Now, yes, I know, controversial.
Did you see that?
I saw the face. So this was back in 2012 when Tracy Neville was in charge, and they went and won the title against Surrey Storm, I think. I may have been playing and coaching, but anyway, that's a different story.
I don't know why you'd forget that.
No, as if. That partnership that year with the shooter, who I'll come on to in a moment, was incredible. The way they complemented each other. So Nellie wasn't your typical goal attack. I'd actually played with her in the Queenstown Firebirds. She was a taller and more physical, a bit sort of Gretel Tippett rather than a Nat Medhurst. But she could shoot from range, and the way she partnered in that circle, opened up the circle, it was something we'd never seen before, a rotating circle that worked. And I loved it. I didn't love playing against it, but that year and the way they played together was incredible.
So who's with her then?
Well, that leaves Karen Gregg, doesn't it? And again,
you're trying to, maybe say something to Karen here about what a great coach she is, what a great shooter she is, how much you adore her.
This could be the moment, couldn't it?
Do it.
Yeah, she was incredible. And you have to remember, when I first came into the England ranks, someone like Greggy was in that team at that point there, so we really looked up to her. Just going to take Casey Jackson this moment.
Well, Casey wants to get involved in the conversation. Clearly agrees on Karen Gregg. 2008 to 2012, in that position then for Manchester Thunder. Yeah,
so Greggy was, I'd seen her in the England squad. There were all the players we were aspiring to be like. That girl could nail the shot from anywhere. So she wasn't the tallest. And I think that's what kind of you looked at that point going, wow, you don't have to be this 6'4" shooter to compete. It's obviously got harder in the international game now. But it was the partnership that worked. And it was the first time that I started to recognise, actually, it's not about the players you have, it's about how the players play together. And they just had a unit that worked for them. You could never stop the offload. So Greg could get the ball and just offload it to Nellie under the post because she was playing against the goal defence. So the matchups didn't work. It was just such a subtle difference. And Greggy on the ball, her timing to come out and release ball and open up the circle for Nellie, it was just a great partnership, and they deserved to win it that year.
And you can't actually, when you look at how quickly they made that partnership tick, just shows the quality of both players.
Yeah, 100%. And, it showed the experience Greggy had at that point. I think it was a great opportunity for Nellie to come over because, at that point, ANZ was difficult. And I remember us being a young Firebird squad, and we'd take a lot of stick at times. And so I think Nellie really came over, made a name for herself as well, and showed the quality she had.
There's your 7 then. Do you want a sub?
Yeah, I do. And this is the toughie, because I want 3.
No, 1.
Well, yeah. So if I was picking an actual team where I had a squad of 10, I'd have Jodie Gibson as reserve defence, Beth Cobden as your reserve in the middle, and Helen Housby as your shooter.
Right.
However, I'm only allowed 1 because those were the rules. So I'm going to go for the game changer. Helen Housby would be in there, and I think she could mix up that circle and give you something completely different, and probably win you another championship.
Well, again, that coaching and what happened between the few quarters that she got to play the year before. So in 2013, didn't really see her. Then in 2014, bang on the scene. So is that about her coach? And does that lean towards who you might make coach?
Well, the coaches, aren't they? So probably you're looking at Dan Ryan, Greggy, Mike Greenwood and Tracy Nev. Look, I have to mention Mike because what he did at Thunder his legacy there. It was a bit like a Lynn Gunson at Bath. You know, most of the players that have come through that regime will talk about Mike very fondly, and he's done such good things for junior netball and for bringing players through, and he was incredible. Look, Greggy has done a great job since she's been in charge, and she's got that title under her belt, but I still think she's very much in her infancy of coaching. And Dan Ryan, again, wasn't there long enough really, although he made the final that year, didn't win it. He had an impact, but I think you can't go away from Tracy Neff, can you? I mean, I'd be shot if I didn't say Tracy Neff. Well, I believe she would be my coach there. She totally understood the Thunder style. She understood the Thunder culture, the way they play. You know, that famous quote, which was at England, "You're a shooter, shoot," but that was very much from a Thunder mentality. You know, they knew how to play, they knew how to win, they knew how to take the stick. And she, you know, the record when she was there coaching speaks for itself. So, yeah, my coach would be Tracy Neff.
All right, there is our all-time Thunder team. Tracy Neville is coaching it. The one substitution, cruel, but it had to be Helen Housby. Goal shooter, Karen Gregg. Goal attack, Janelle Lawson. What a combination they were. Liana Leota in at wing attack. Is anyone beating this team? You've got Sarah Bayman at centre, Jade Clark at wing defence, Emma Dovey at goal defence, and Kerry Arman, goalkeeper. How many titles will that team win?
Well, I don't know. I've got to pull my team together first, Caroline Barker, and I'm just going away to work on the tactics right now.
Oh, maybe that's for the follow-up. At Thunder Netball, let us know what you think of Tasmin Greenway's picks. I'm laying it all on you. I might have steered you on a few. Thank you, everyone. That is your all-time Thunder Netball team.